In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to price your services for your agency. I'll give you all the information that you need to know on how to get paid the most per client for the results that you generate. Because you never know, right? You could be charging your clients 3 times less than what you could be charging for the same amount of work. Multiply that across 5 clients, and that's thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars left down the drain because you didn't know how to structure your pricing correctly. So make sure to grab a pen and paper, take notes, and watch this video to the end, because I'm about to be dropping sauce on exactly how to structure your pricing properly to make sure that you maximize the amount of profit that you take. All right, guys. So let's talk about, first of all, why is pricing important, right? Why is pricing even important? Why should I care? Why don't I just go do any random pricing that I see online in some other YouTube video? And pricing is very important, guys, because number one, you want to know that you can actually make profit, right? So that it's actually worth it for you and it's worth it to fulfill the service, right? You don't want to like be delivering a service to someone and you just end up making no money. You have no margin, right? You wouldn't be able to run a business that way, right? So the first thing is pricing is very important because you want to make sure you can make the most amount of profit possible. Okay. You want to make sure your margins are as good as possible, as healthy as possible. Okay. And then number two, pricing is very important is because it screens out bad clients who are too poor to deserve your offer in the first place. Okay. So this happens a lot too, especially in the lead generation space. You'll hop on calls with people because you're saying, hey, like I would do this on a pay per performance model, on a pay per call model, which we're going to talk about in the rest of this video. And people are just going to expect you to just like do work for them for free, right? And it's unacceptable, right? We don't work for free. We're not running a charity. We're not running a nonprofit. We're running a business. And what are we in business to do? We're in business to make money. Okay. So that's why pricing is important too, because the different ways you can structure your offer, it can screen out bad clients or unqualified clients who, again, are too poor, right? And you don't want to work with poor people, right? You want to work with people who have money. Okay. And that's not a diss to any poor people. Okay. Like I used to not have as much money as I have now, right? So, and I understand how this stuff works. So we don't want to work with people who don't have a budget to work with us. Okay. So that's why pricing is important. Okay. Now let's talk about some pricing models, right? So there's a bunch of different pricing models I'm going to go over, but the first one is going to be pure performance. Okay. So what is the pure performance model? Okay. And for this, I'm just going to kind of draw this stuff out. All right, guys, we'll make it a lot easier. All right, guys. So first, let's talk about the pure performance model. Okay. What was it? Yeah. Pure performance pay per call. Okay. What is that? So that is essentially just charging on a pure performance offer. We call it PPC, pay per call. Okay. Now what this is every single time you generate a lead for a client, you would get paid. So for example, what I would do is going to be anywhere from like $250 to like $300. All right. So I would say around to $350. Okay. So pay per call is going to be anywhere from like $250 to $350 per call. No setup fee, no tech fee, nothing like that. This is going to be like the most no-brainer offer. And this is going to be the offer that's probably like very, very much for like super beginners who have no case studies. They have nothing. But the problem is you're going to have to come out of pocket with this, right? So you're going to have to come out of pocket like $200 to like $300 to start, because you're going to have to set up their domains, you're going to have to get their lead list, you're going to set up all that stuff, right? So you're going to be losing money up front, okay? This is going to be for people who are really starting out, they don't have any experience, they don't have any case studies, and you're basically going to be learning with this client, right? Because you can't really charge a client $2,000 or $3,000 a month when you've never done it before, okay? You have to work for free at first. It's what I did, it's what everyone who I knew who runs a successful agency now did too, okay? So this is going to be the first pricing option. Okay, guys. Now, again, why use it? Because that's going to be for beginners, no experience, nothing. The pros, very easy to close. Okay. It's a no-brainer for the client. Okay. There's no sales resistance there at all. Right. But the cons are you're going to lose money up front. You're going to lose money up front. Okay, because you're going to have to do that setup for the client. But another pro is if you can get good results for the client, you can make a lot of money. Like if you can generate 5 to 10 leads per month, you're going to make like 2 to 3K a month. with that one client, right? And you're not going to care about the $200, $300, right? So there's really good pros and there is some cons as well, right? So overall thoughts, solid for beginners, right? People who have no experience, people who have no case studies, it's really solid for you guys, right? But I'm going to get into one that I think is a little bit better. It's a little bit of an easier sell, and it allows you to like not lose that money. And I'm going to talk about that later on in this video, okay? Now let's talk about number 2. Now we have the flat retainer, okay? The flat retainer is going to be something like $2,000 to $4,000 a month, consistently for email services, right? This is really good for just stacking retainers. It's really good for just making money, right? Like you know how much you're going to make. It's going to be very predictable, okay? So why use it? Predictable, consistent. You know how much you're going to make. Okay. The pros are, again, predictable, consistent. You know how much you're going to make. You're going to be able to make more money. You can keep selling it, right? But the cons are it's a hard sell, right? Especially for your first offer. Like if I'm hopping on a call with someone for the first time ever, and I'm just saying, hey, we charge $2,000 a month, right? That trust isn't there yet, right? I want to do something to kind of bridge that gap and create that trust first, and then it's easier to sell the $2,000 a month, right? Selling $2,000 a month right out of the gate is hard, right? It's harder, especially for beginners. This is going to be very hard for you guys to sell, right? Okay. But for those of you who, they're doing performance, right? And they want to change the retainer model, you can do that, right? But overall thoughts is it's not for beginners. It's good if you can do it, right? It's good if you can do it because it's consistent, it's predictable. But guys, if you can get good results, then doing performance is going to be better because you're going to make more money anyway, right? So that's what I think about flat retainers. I think it's solid. I think it's predictable. It's a good way to scale a business. But it's not going to be for beginners, right? Now, let's talk about number 3. This is one that I like a lot. It's called tech fee plus performance, okay? This is going to be one of the best ones, I think. So it literally takes this pay per call, but you just add a tech fee, right? tech fee, right? So for example, remember how I said that you're going to have to spend this money, $200, $300 a month or whatever to sustain the expenses for the client? That's gone now because with the tech fee, you just charge them $200 to $300 a month plus the pay per call, right? So this is also like a really, really, really good option for beginners, right? I recommend this for everyone who's just starting out, because again, it's still a very low barrier to entry offer. Like it's very easy to say yes to because it's only $200-$300 a month. It's like they're not committing thousands of dollars up front, right? And then you're getting that performance. And with this, the thing about this is you're always going to be positive. Like you're always going to make profit, right? Like this $200-$300 is going to be enough to cover the expenses, and you might even make like $50 a month, like from profit from this. But then this is going to be 100% pure profit, right? Which is what you want, right? Which is going to be great because if you can get results, you're going to make a lot of money, right? And this is really good for scaling too because you're never going to be in the red, right? You can have 10, 15 clients paying you $200, $300 per month for tech fees. You're never going to slide in the red. You're always going to be green. You're always going to be cash flow positive, right? So this is a really, really solid offer, right? I really recommend this one for like anyone, honestly, for beginners, right? And also for, like people who are experienced, right? But there are some cons as well, right? There is a lack of predictability, right? With performance, okay? Some months you might get 5 leads, some months you get 15, 12, so there's no consistent income coming in, right? And that's what the retainer is going to get you, right? So these are the 3 that we've went over, all right? All right, guys, now let's go to the last one, okay? And this is going to be a setup fee plus performance, okay? So it's very similar to the tech fee plus performance, but instead of charging them a monthly fee every single month, you just charge them like anywhere from like 2 to 5K up front, right? And then you do a pay per call offer, okay? This is a really, really solid offer as well. This is how I got my first client, and this is the offer that I was really running with for like the longest time, right? The 2 to like 4K setup fee, and that puts me in the green for a long time. And what it also does, which I like about this, is it qualifies the client. Like if they can pay this 2 to 5K upfront, I know that they're not a shitty client. I know that they're not a low quality client. I know that they can actually afford our services, and I know that they're not just going to ghost us, or they're actually going to pay their invoices, and they're just going to be a solid client to work with, right? So this is going to be more for beginner to intermediate agency owners, but you can do this even for your first client as well, right? Now, what this is going to do, again, the number one thing that this is going to do, guys, is it's going to filter out shitty clients, right? It's going to filter out shitty clients. So if you want to work with as many clients as possible and you don't really care whether they're shitty or not shitty, then, you know, you can go with tech plus performance. But to be honest, I would always kind of stay away from pure performance, because you don't want to be losing money up front, right? So I kind of would stay away from this one, right? I don't think it's a good one to go with. This one is pretty solid, but it's going to be more so for like intermediate agency owners. That's why I'm going to put it in yellow. These two, I think, are going to be like the absolute best for like beginner agency owners, right? Because you're going to be able to make money up front. You're going to be able to put money in your pocket and make profit, and you're going to be able to learn and get paid extra on performance as well, right? So these are the two that I recommend, and that's literally what I want to talk about next, is what I would recommend. So I would either do this one, setup fee plus performance, or tech fee plus performance, right? Because this is going to allow you to, number one, always be profitable. Number two, have the opportunity to make a lot more money with performance and then hone your craft and learn, right? And then with the setup fee, you're going to be able to filter out those shitty clients, right? And you're going to be able to work with higher quality clients. And the more that you can charge up front, the more profit you can make as well, right? Now, let's talk about when to change prices. Okay, so before I end the video, I want to talk about when can you change the prices, when can you change between different models. Now, what you can do is, if you want more consistency and you want more predictability in your income after signing like 5 to 10 clients, you can change to like a $2,000 to $3,000 a month retainer for your clients. But the thing is, it only makes sense if they're already currently paying more for your performance, right? So they'd be getting a discount. So for example, if you're charging around $350 per call and you're getting your client an average of like 12 calls per month, that's around 4.2K that they're paying you per month. What you can do is you can go to them and say, hey, we can do a 3.5 or 3K a month for a 3-month commitment, so that you save money and it gives us a little bit more predictability, right? You get paid more upfront, right? And they get a discount, right? But the thing is, you can only do this once you have competency and you have case studies, guys. And now what I do, guys, upfront is, I don't do the pay per call. I don't do the retainers. What I do upfront consulting packages for like 10 to 15K, right? 10 to 15K for a 3-4 month commitment. And they usually pay that upfront or per month, right? That's like the end, not the end goal, but like one of the end goals, right? Is instead of doing like a done for you pay per call, you can charge for upfront consulting packages where you're basically going in and just showing them how to do stuff. It becomes more of a done with you, right? Rather than done for you. So you go from done for you to done with you. But you can only do this when you have competency. Okay, guys? And I know I kind of just went through that really fast, but I have a whole video showing you exactly how to scale from like 10 to 30K a month with this exact like done with you consulting package model. So if you want to do that, you can click the video in the description below, guys. But yeah, guys, that's literally how to price your services as an agency owner. And that, guys, is exactly how you price your agency services. Getting this right will solve a lot of problems as an agency owner. So if you watch this video, I'm glad that you got this solved. The next thing you need to know how to do is actually get results, book meetings, and then scale to $10,000 a month with your agency. That's why I made a full free course on YouTube on exactly how to start and scale a lead generation agency. It goes way in depth into everything else you need to grow your agency, like setting it up, getting your first client, how to do outreach, how to close deals, and so much more. If you want to go check that out, it's going to be the first video in the description below. I'll see you guys in there.